Why was it Vegas 2 weeks in a row? What happened?
This is the season finale of Vegas. This is the brawl for all the marbles. This is the for final episode for this season of Vegas. We took a small respite between Bethany starting and stopping because Vegas had an additional episode this season. And so the last two plays are Vegas, and then we restart our cycle, hopefully keeping scheduled no missed appointments or such, and roll right on through. So with Bethany ending its season on such a deliciously dangerous note, it also gave us time to, well, gave me time to look over the feedback, give the experience points out, give everybody a chance, an opportunity to spend or not spend, and get situated for the start of Bethany, which we'll do with Vegas as well, but not nearly as long, because from here, with this episode ending this season, we won't start back with Vegas until the 26th. So yeah. We did have one other RSVP, so waiting on that. And if not, we are roughly 6 minutes before our start. So it gives us the opportunity of ta-da, welcome. It gives us the opportunity of sussing out any questions, hypotheses, and theories. That way, while I won't spoil anything, i.e. give away information the character would not know, I gladly and willingly will answer anything that is within their purview of knowledge, so that they can orient, so that you can orient them or themselves or their plots and their plans. And it's also an opportunity for you guys to declare intentions.
I intend to get back to Vegas.
So, plots and plans wise, I think it's pretty clear Ryan is most likely the most ambitious one in this group. His plan to, if not secure as high a position as he can within the organization set up, organization set up by Fancy's friend, then, and this is a little bit more on the down low, eventually usurp him if he proves to be unloyal to the group in any shape or form. Or are we talking about more immediate plans? Get on out of here. Get on out of here.
Both work, but
Get out of here.
That's a great start. That's a great idea. And well stated. This, give or take that.
Okay. Then as a more immediate plan, I'm gonna go. Shut up, kiddo! A more immediate plan, I'm gonna go check on my mom. And then make everything look business as usual, which I guess checking on my mom is business as usual. Because that was effectively the last command he gave us, right? Go about our usual business.
Yep, make it seem as if it is day in, day out, the same old.
Alright. So get in contact with my agent who is crawling around there. Call up Natalia, have a conversation with her, and go check on my mom. Because I believe our friendly Mr. Luca was affiliated with the Venetian, was he not?
Yep.
He is the owner of the Venetian. No, sorry. The son of the owner, right? There we go.
Yes.
So, that is, by reconnecting with my inn in the Venetian, that is me subtly hinting towards the making contingencies side of things. God, I think somebody shot one of the kids with the angry Nerf guns. Anybody else? Wait, I'm at the top. So next, let's go for Anastasia.
You know, she's just a baby. She doesn't really know anything.
Okay.
She did have her life, her existence, everything that she was and could have been based on the business that she built, taking care of that particular group of properties, plus her own individuals being taken from her along with her life. There are very few individuals in the world who care nothing about their environment, especially being as their environment was the totality of their world. There's a reason why she remained or moved back to Prim. There was a reason why she escaped the iniquity and sin of Las Vegas. There's a reason behind where she found herself and began to build herself up from. So having that taken from her, what sort of plans, intentions, goals would this baby kindred, full-grown woman have for herself being thrust into this fundamentally alien world?
Well, first step would be probably working through some anger with dear old mother. Poke, poke. And then trying to basically rebuild everything from scratch.
Good goal. Did anyone tell her that Martha was the mother?
It was alluded to, but not directly stated, I think. I think Brian at one point's like, take care of your kid.
We have a nice tense Maury moment. Well, having a destination doesn't account for any of the bumps, hills, valleys, rivers, bridges, failings of anything along the way, or any blown tires. Having a goal in mind gives us a destination on the map. How we get there is where the details come in at. So a goal, for instance, is very much what Brian and Anastasia have provided us. They need to get back to Vegas. They need to rebuild themselves, secure the safety of those that they care about, have an idea in regards to a contingency plan. Those are goals. How they get there is where the magic and the detail and the tension and the drama comes from. So with the overarching of making sure you're covered in regards to the unauthorized embrace gives us a relatively long-term goal with short-term applications. But what's another goal or a landmark along that path that Martha might have, considering that she has broken her vows? She has done the unthinkable as far as the rest of her clan, her cult, and her sense of self would have a few weeks ago determined as anything possible. Her world is shaken up. Her beliefs in regards to what humans are and what kindred are, and the fact that Anastasia should not be possible yet is. Nice. We have goals. Alphabetically, Next up would being we skipped over Eugene and Fancy, we need to circle back around.
Eugene,
You can go ahead, Fancy. Okay, fine.
apparently, that look that done. Better, and then executive, it's making sure the studio is back up and running, and planning for the Garusha are the two most directly important after getting her home. Those are all like in step with each other. So dropping off the boxes, picking up her own bill, getting the studio back going, and then planning the Garusha. Those are immediate. Long receiving what she sent me received back close to her heart and not losing it again.
That's more than a mouthful.
Sorry.
Actually, I just realized something. I apologize if I'm cutting anybody off, but I just realized most of our plans don't revolve around interacting with each other. So is it all right if I alter a singular element?
Yes.
Okay. I'm rather than calling my contact in the Venetian, I will call Fancy and try and get a hold of her and see how she's doing. You know, we just got out of there. Her former love, current love, just popped up. You know, I need to make sure that she's mentally good to go. She might seem like she's on cloud 9, but you never know if there's anything hiding in the darkness.
There is always something hiding in the darkness.
All right. Do we have anybody else on the list of 2BD?
Eugene.
All right,
Yeah,
Eugene.
I was letting Fancy get it all out of her system before I said anything. So, first and foremost, back to Vegas I go. I didn't get my money up because I've been spending too long dealing with this coterie and not getting no money. So I gotta get my bread up first. So to get some drops, I have to go ahead and pay a quick drop to Brian's mom so I can get some money in. Secondly,
Wait a second.
gonna go ahead. Secondly, gotta go ahead and work on that grocery because we actually been BSing so long and again not making no money and not getting any favors done. So gotta go ahead and work on the Garujas. That's the second most important thing I do. Third, definitely somewhere along that time, gotta get my feeding on and replacing my weapons because all of that. The gun I've lost, bullets I've lost, knives I lost. I gotta get all of that back. Third, fourth, I'm gonna go swing by Eddie Young to go ahead and see if he got any updates on any weapons that I could use. Because I need my weapons back. After that, I'll probably swing by some of the clubs, try to get see if I can get some wheels under my thumb so that I can get some money out of them. And also see if I can call if I can get back into my swing, because I'm actually feeling a little out of step since we went to Prim, and I haven't made no money, haven't gotten no no publicity, no politics. I feel completely out of it, like a fish out of water. So I need to get back to my element. That's pretty much what Eugene works on.
I love that every other word was money, and I can't help but imagine like you bobbing your shoulders left and right while rubbing your hands together, just money, money, money.
It's Vegas, and I ain't got no bread, so something ain't right, and that got to get fixed immediately.
Okay. Oh, wow. As this is the last this season, this is the final denouement. We will be forwarding through time. We will be skipping some steps based on where we are beginning. I need a significant buy-in, because unlike most of our episodes, this will not be chronologically in order.
Beautiful.
This episode, tonight, is an experiment, a proving ground, and a realization of several things that have been put in motion by the Coterie's actions and inactions. Tonight's episode, which is entitled The Socratic Humbling of Serapis. For those of you who are nerds, such as myself, who, do the whole looking into mythology and poems and all manner of just wild, ridiculous amount of other. If it's nerdy, if it's a heroic tale, if it's a sad tale, if it just attracts your attention. Serapis is a god from ancient Greek and Egyptian myth. It's a combination god that has had cults throughout the entirety of the Roman Empire. It's had cults throughout the early burgeoning days of the cult of Catholicism. Serapis is a Greek wearing nothing but appropriated Egyptian wardrobe. Their iconography, their presentations of outward manifestations, everything about them screams from the Egyptian pantheon when you first look at them. However, everything about them in terms of personifications and what they do and how they do what they do is 100% from the Grecian pantheon. It's a strangely combined manifestation of where Egypt and Greece was millennia ago. And they managed to proliferate and meld with most of the bases of modern worship. A lot of the things, a lot of the manners of which how they were worshipped is, well, hard to pinpoint, because most people turn a blind eye to the roots of things and where things started. They're a prime example of things not mattering as much at the beginning as they do at the end. Serapis is one of the many facets and aspects of a god of death, a god of change. And that perfectly sums up the path that this coterie has traveled from their various beginnings, their singular beginnings. Because unlike several other coteries that we've managed to experience, unlike several other cities we've managed to explore via the characters who reside there, their beginning and knowledge of each other was disparate. They understood each other. They knew of each other. They had a hint that the other existed out there in the world. Yet unlike the other coteries, unlike the other cities, their ties and connections revealed themselves slowly, glacially, like an iceberg, slowly melting and rising up out of the water. And even now, here we are, 2 seasons in, several hundred small, minor catastrophes, dramas, and traumas, and their knowledge of each other is, as the saying goes, only the tip of the iceberg. So we start at the end. We start with the coterie sitting before the prince, and several security officers and various shades of black, and seersucker blue, and electric neon colors for their shirts and ties, the slick back hair, the braided plates, the glasses hanging from shirt pockets or suit coat, the well-appointed jewelry along the fingers. And the prince sits there, watching them as if he's looking at bugs grow multiple heads as he watches. Benedict is not known for his attention to detail. Unlike the vast majority of the blue blood around the nation, Benedict really does not give two shits. He received the princedom from the Council of Seven predominantly because he was too powerful to dispatch, and they needed him out of the way. He received the backing of the Ventru predominantly because he was too personally powerful and had too many debts owed him for them to easily dispatch. And everyone who is anyone has known that throughout the entirety of Las Vegas's existence, it was originally believed to be a pipe dream, believed to be a simple money pit. He was supposed to be the bank for the bulk of the Ventru on the West Coast. And then that whole Anarch thing happened in California. Then that whole Anarch thing happened in Seattle. And then the children rose up and started claiming spaces for themselves. And the bank didn't have as many withdrawals. So he became a powerful hub for laundering money and getting it back to the blue blood on the East Coast. And he was able to do this because he imprisoned, mentally dominated, and otherwise cheated his way into milking the system for all that it was worth, while stepping completely on and through many of the toes of the Hakato, who had entrenched themselves in organized and disorganized labor, crime, and politics to secure what everyone else thought was a pipe dream, what everyone else thought was guaranteed to be a failure. They saw the potential. Tourists rolling through and being bilked of all their goods and being indebted to them, many often taking that final last cowardly out and still being indebted to them into the next world. And Benedict and Shlomo fought and warred and finally agreed to an armistice because it had begun to affect the money. And so Benedict was able to lead a life of luxury. a life of leisure, while his strong right hand, Montrose, handled the day-to-day, teaming occasionally with the Hakata to keep the Anarchs out, to keep the Sword out, to keep the Ashura out, to keep out anyone who was able to sink claws and fangs into the artery of money, both real and electronic, that was flowing through the city. And for decades, the truth of the matter is, while Benedict was and is Prince of Vegas, Montrose is the true power. His chess partner, his big whist partner, his spades partner, his partner who is able to communicate with him in a way that speaks and screams of respect, but also finds a way to be honest and true. And after a very long few days, all of the things that have happened that have gotten you all here, you sit eating up his air conditioning as he looks at you as if you're something a few seconds ago impossible. As we all know, Montrose will not be joining us, and I find that extraordinarily problematic. I would ask for you to explain yourself, but there's nothing that I can see that adds up to what we are experiencing now. The number one rule, the only rule that matters, that has mattered: keep the peace. Why couldn't you all just keep the peace? And he stands up, his tie being adjusted. Not by his hands, because he literally is that lazy. He literally does only want peace. He wants the image of calm, to the point where as he stands, as he rises, Marion smooths out the petals, brushes off the shoulders, and adjusts the tie. Seamlessly and perfectly timed to move past him without blocking his view of you all, doing those three things as if he had 101 hands, and immediately stepping back behind him out of the way. As Benedict moves closer to you all, the age rolling off him, and is once more at his back, a roller taking care of the loose, few gray hairs that have fallen from his head. Explain yourselves. And he looks directly at Anastasia. Today, you all arrived from Prim. You drove and were driven by Luca's people. You took the back roads. You avoided the expressway. You made it through the desert, whose heat was still oppressive underneath the light of the moon, whose heat could still be felt wafting and rolling up off the sand as if it was another person, as if it was carrying you to the center of sin, the center of the universe, the place where you ran for your own safety and sanctity, for your own sanity, where you reclaimed all of the bruises and bruising of your past by leaving. But you're once more heading there, being carried there, being drugged there. The others around you, much like yourself, accustomed to the heat, but Prim is a little more humid. You can feel the moisture being sapped and sucked up out of your muscles as you move. Even with the trucks and vans, air conditioning blowing at full, you only have hot air. In the name of Anastasia's plans, what she began to slowly understand, because unlike most car trips, no one's sweating, No one's breathing hot air. No one's munching their 14th huge bag of taquitos or Doritos or Munchos or hell, just anything with O's and a approximation of potato. No, everyone is relatively silent. The victim of Fancy and Ryan's beating, tied, gagged, and left in the back with all of the other parcels.
She's just going to be like, me?
I'm pretty
So
sure.
on the trip in the van moving from Prim, was there anything that Anastasia could have potentially considered? Was there anything that she would have, after watching Fancy and Ryan absolutely demolish their victim for what she tossed off offhandedly? As they leaped into action, she stepped out of the way, allowing them to absolutely demolish Reese Logan. As they stepped in and put what to, when for, and how into their blows.
She would have mostly been trying to figure out who that person was, what the connection was, and why are these people in my house? We should just explode it.
Just blow the house up.
I mean, the weather's not doing what it's supposed to.
I mean, for the last one at the very least, I think it was explained that it was your brother's fault that all these people are at your house.
I mean, yeah, sure, but that doesn't explain why.
Okay.
So is that what she, in the trip, once they finished using percussive maintenance on Reese's attitude, what Anastasia would have suggested?
Assuming they tell her anything.
Is that what she asks? Is that how she engages them?
She would be a little more mouthy. Like my cat is being right now.
You're in the van. You've left the edge of Prim. You're taking the back road that's guided by your assistants, the other vehicles. You're alone in the van with this group of individuals. There's Fancy. Knuckles should have been bruised and broken with how hard and as vicious as she took to Reese's face and head, shoulders, stomach, and other extremities, but not so much as a bruise. There's Ryan, the curly-haired, nearly red-headed Irish fellow. There's Martha, the blonde who looks as if she's a cast member or also ran WKRP in Cincinnati. And then there's Eugene, or as Reese called him, the black guy by the van.
So guys, is anyone going to explain just what the actual fuck? And she's just gonna like gesture with her fingers to like everything.
I think it was pretty clear. You're a vampire now. There was a bunch of shit stored at your house by your brother. Though the one guy was trying to protect it, the other girl was trapped inside of it. I don't know what else you need. Oh, she was a mouthy son of a bitch and a racist fuck, so we decided to teach her our ways are wrong. What's next? Fancy, what's next on the list?
I mean, that's pretty clear, but if you want more details as to what's going on, your brother, like I said, stole some things he shouldn't have, and then he decided, apparently because very few of you only knew about this particular place out here in the desert, that it would be the safest place for it. Not realizing that, obviously, that you would remember it. But that's where it seems like he was planning to take you here, which is why your little friend with the fucking shoddy decided that because we were coming in the back door and not the front door, that he was going to open fire. Because your brother told him if it was anybody but him, shoot them.
Yeah.
So you see how that went. He got his ass handed to him, and then got dead when old girl with the running mouth decided she needed a snack after being stuck in the fucking coffin. Speaking of which, you did that the worst possible fucking way. Shooting the feet and then dragging her out through the hole. Once you shot the fucking top of it, you should have just lifted it off.
I don't feel the necessity to get overly familiar with the mechanics of how you got her out, but I do agree with Fancy. It was a bit more effort than was required, and
Yeah, but hear me out. On the other hand, she couldn't just jump up and attack me right away now, could she?
no. I suppose. I mean, the moment that she got free, that doesn't really matter. It was a little bit of a silly way to do it. I'm not gonna lie.
But she had to be pretty sure that they didn't somehow reverse her in there and she would have gotten shot in the head. Now that knowing who was in there, though, I'm not exactly sure I would have been all that sad about that situation. But that's neither here nor there.
I don't think the specifics of the box are really that important. Any other questions that you have?
So you did a great job of explaining shit I already figured out just from being with you with the last 20 minutes.
Okay.
I mean, more like the global. Local.
Well, just a
the
few
more
days ago.
immediate what the fuck.
Oh, alright, the more immediate what the fuck. On a global scale or strictly on the local?
Local.
Alright. On a local scale, we are currently being driven out here by Luca, Fancy's lovely, lovely husband. More specifically, his men. To go and live life as usual. If you want any more detail, I'll need a please.
He is just going to throw up one hand with one particular finger sticking up.
Fancy, or more specifically, Martha, I guess. What? I'll leave the explaining to you. This is your kid after all. So, I think a course on how to behave in public around your betters is in order.
Well, I mean, if you ask the movies, there's all sorts of myths. I mean, there's, Judas. There's the guy who poked Jesus in the ribs. There's Dracula. He's pretty popular.
Actually, what generation is she? Oh no! That's terrible. But not to insult you, Martha. That explains a lot about her, honestly. No, I'm looking forward to that.
Some thin bloods would love to have what she has. You guys shouldn't scoff.
I don't give a flying fuck what those thin bloods want. Honestly, they can go about playing with their chemistry sets and pretending to be true kindred if they want. And they can what did you say? Want to be what she is, want to have what she has. All they want. As far as I'm aware, those half-blooded pieces of shit can just scrounge the cesspit of the city. They're just like those fucks in the Down and Out Club, I swear to God.
They have their uses.
Yeah.
And amongst that, there are different families. Has their own abilities and ways of behaving and things that they can do. It's cliche in a way, but the family that I am from are captains of industry, often dealing with money, business owners, and the like. They are very much the aristocracy. There are other families. One such family is able to turn into animals at a certain level of power. I don't know how that quite works, but yeah, that's a thing. There are others that know magic that are kind of like what we usually say Harry Potters or wizards or whatever the fuck. Those
Fucking
motherfuckers.
nerds.
Then there are the Toreador, the mean girls. Not kidding people. Oh, the ones that were chasing you, the ugly ones. Those we call sometimes sewer rats, Nosferatu, kind of like a movie. Because you're fucking ugly. Some of them
Yeah, they're
can
like the
change their
Cabbage
face.
Patch
Though.
Kids that got robbed.
Yeah, that. There are others as well, and again, varying degrees of danger, varying degrees of ability, varying degrees of how they see the world. What we are, as a group, though, are what is called, I guess, Camarilla. The group with the most rules. There is a second or third set. They're anarchs. They don't particularly believe in rules most of the time. Please. Within the masquerade, though. That is the biggest lot of everything. Do not let the humans find out what you are. Because problems. Did I say anything, Ryan?
Y'all jumped around a lot, I'm not gonna lie. It was the least structured educational system I've ever seen, and that says a lot given that we're in America.
So what I'm getting is we're living in a biblical morality play. We are basically in feudal times.
Biblical morality play is quite accurate, and in said play, we are the bad guys. There is, I would say, the two systems of kindred government, as they stated, the Anarchs and the Camarilla. The Camarilla, yeah, I would definitely say it's very king-like in its structure. The oldest, most powerful, most connected, and more often than not, most idiotic, seem to make their way to the top of it. Rather than it being a feudal society, though, it's more like a meritocracy. An oppressive one, but a meritocracy.
Because it sounds more like upper management, where the idiots get ahead.
Yeah, so the more powerful and connected that you are, the higher up you can go. It's just, that is how it is. That's why I see it as a meritocracy, and rather than anything like a proper feudal society. It's not divine right. Your child, should you... oh, I don't even know why I'm making this hypothetical, but hypothetically, should you make it to princedom, your child doesn't necessarily become the prince if you were to die. More than likely, whoever killed you does. And you can only hold on to your position so long as you are strong enough, fast enough, and smart enough to keep it.
So what I'm hearing is it's better to be the puppeteer.
Are you talking about somebody that sits in the back and lets a figurehead roll in their stead?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be called the position of the seneschal. Although, I suppose in this city it's kind of the reverse. The prince lets the seneschal handle most, if not all, the daily business. But what Fancy was saying, the real thing, the really big thing that you need to understand is to keep everything about what we are a secret. To the average person, you are the average person. And if you fuck up and you let anyone know what you are, we have to kill them, and then we have to kill you. And for reference, a lot of the crimes, which you'll figure out what are crimes and what aren't crimes soon, a lot of the crimes, their punishments lead to just death. There's not a merciful system of judgment. But treat those above you with respect and obey the masquerade, and you will more or less make it in society. Any more questions on your end?
Yes, but I don't think y'all are necessarily the right people to ask.
If I'm being
Because
perfectly
no
honest.
offense, y'all kind of sound like you're just making it up as you go along.
Can we toss her out of the... We can toss her out of the car, right? We do.
Did we?
No, they're all in the van. We have, but no, wait, they're not in the van. We dropped them off with Luca, didn't we, before we got picked up by these guys?
As you all remind and rewind back to dropping off the boxes before the trek, sojourn, and infomercial about your statuses. Eugene, the truth of the matter is, as you take in all that is Prim, all that is out here in the middle of the fucking desert, away from everyone, the incoming blood from the forced donations, and some of them aren't necessarily completely forced, the nearly unlimited energy, and it being 2 steps removed from you. To be perfectly honest, let's just call it what it is. Knowing at last and having paid attention just a little bit to who Fancy actually is, who her sire actually is. She's effectively as close to family as you actually have. Not counting, of course, your distant niece, 4 steps removed, or however they do that math, who works as a local traveling nurse. You never quite figured out her scam with that, but how can you be a traveling nurse in the city in which you live? Yet she manages to do so and make an absolute fucking killing. As you all return with the boxes from Anastasia's hidey hole, from Anastasia's childhood home, the connection between you and Fancy makes this technically in the family, if you could just find a way to capitalize on it. Her husband, Luca, Giovanni, Shlomo, her sire, more pressingly than anyone, makes this technically an extension of the family. If you could find a way, a single simple way to not take it all, but just get your beak wet. The dollar signs that appear in your eyes are bright enough to light up the entire New York skyline. Because all it takes is an end with this relatively unlimited supply. A single draught of blood, even the hospital grade chemically manipulated stuff, it's about 1,500. God forbid if you can get it straight from the source, bagged and transported in one night, which is possible. You're talking easily 3 stacks per moving each single use draw.
Yep. Hello. Hello, Eugene?
Eugene's going to kind of think about that. He knows that it's going to have to do something to get with Fancy and her boy toy, whoever, whatever it is, going to have to work with them, but it's kind of hard to get in because while he likes Fancy, who he don't really know too much about, he's going to have to work with that. So he's just going to put that on the back burner because it's important to do, or at least get access to it. If he can't do it himself, get access to it. But until he can figure out a good plan, there's no reason to dwell on it.
Nice, nice.
His plan was to get back in the green, to get back in the black, not be in the red. Because let's be perfectly honest, that's where his ledgers are right now. There's a significant amount of capital that he needs to get a vehicle. Now, whether he does it on consignment, which means he has to pay the VIG to get to the weapons, which again, with him being in the red, he needs to pay the VIG. If he's able to even get it on consignment, to begin making his rounds, to begin making his collections, to build up his nest egg so that he can assure that his contributions outside of his physical presence will be of value to the Garusha. You all still haven't gotten with the local veteran of your level, of your status, of your dignitas to get a secure location.
Is the secured location something that we can probably secure as of right now?
Now is all that you have, technically, isn't it? Do you have your fate casting lot screen open?
Yeah, I'm calculating the dice as we speak. Got it. What is our hunger at currently? Are we back to 1?
It's whatever it was last session.
I don't know what it was last session. I wasn't here.
I don't. I think just rouse once and then we're good to go, right, Nobu? I don't remember us eating last session, but I do remember a day passing.
Time is always a thief of forever. If you use the in canoe, you can use current and it will be accurate.
There you go.
Okay. Give me 2 seconds. I have it all plugged in.
Absolutely no problem. Take your time, buddy. Let's see. And to re-up for me, he's having this internal monologue while we're on this ride, correct?
We stepped a hair back further in time from one previous image and view of where you all were to the former to that image and view of where you all were. So
Beautiful.
when you all mentioned that you had to get the boxes from Anastasia's place back to Luca, we immediately went back to Luca via Eugene's perception on what was happening.
Oh, okay, cool. So we had sorry about that. Flashback.
Yes.
All right, Eugene, are you satisfied with that roll?
Are you going to use the reroll?
Yes, yes, I am. I was looking at something else, but yeah, I'll just re-roll it real quick.
Okay, clicky. Hey.
Or not.
Give me one quick second. I just want to check one small thing. I'm going to use your dice pool for the unspoken contest. And bear with me one quick second. Let's get that out there for everybody so we can see, because is what you see is what you get.
Hmm.
And yeah, I was trying to see if that syntax was me typing the syntax wrong or not, but it was.
No problem.
As you all get the boxes back and begin the process of unloading, as Mr. Giovanni, because I don't think you all know him well enough to use anywhere near his first actual name, as much as he introduced himself that way, just in the semblance of parody. There's not that level of understanding between you all. As much as you all witness in terms of his adoration and passion and loyalty to the idea of who Fancy was before her death and who she became afterwards. You're talking about decades of plotting, planning, countless millions stolen, countless betrayals in the offing to build this place. And as is the case in such situations, thoughts of money, how to get there, what comes next, overthinking the consequences of taking that step, of leaping into the maw of the future, because, well, there's teeth there. As you all watch and are unloaded and plots and plans are put in place with his men giving you the guidance back to Las Vegas while avoiding the road pirates, while the vehicles are unloaded and stored, the information they're stored safely, you spy, as to be perfectly honest, as far as Eugene is concerned, the woman. And by that, there is a loose connection of Confederates that call themselves the Down and Out Club. They are very, very unforgiving for those who betray their sensibilities, those who annoy, those who stop the flow of money towards them, to stop the flow of information towards them, those who act very much the way that Ryan has, jealously guarding what they have through every mean they have, stymieing other plans. At least that was the case for him. But you see the woman, you see Aubrey Lorraine, the myth, the legend, the former girl of the evening, who is the only living person within the Down and Out Club that you've met who's managed to sit on the fence, utilize their resources, and get away with it. She has not been bombed out of her home. She hasn't been swatted. She has not incurred, somehow, the wrath of the Down and Out Club. The fact that she's here amongst Mr. Giovanni's men screams volumes. Screams very much to seize the day, or in your case, the night. Because tomorrow, while not promised, still happens. Speaking of which, as you spy her, as you realize that the Down and Out Club even has their reaches out here in the middle of nowhere. When you all got back to Vegas, after that conversation in the van, after your realization that the Down and Out Club has its tendrils and fingers in everyone else's pie, where would you have asked to be dropped off?
I think, my opinion, Fancy Studio.
Eugene?
Does Eugene know where his car is? It's been sitting there for about a good week or so, I believe.
Yeah, you know exactly where your car would be at this point.
Is it happening to be an impound?
Oh yes. Oh, so very yes. It is
I
properly and
figured as much.
safely stored away from the public thoroughfare, accruing the storage fees that have been known to default nations.
I thought so. Fancy as it is, I guess I need to get money, like yesterday.
Hey. Can I interest you in a loan?
Do you have enough where I could get my car out?
Oh, certainly. We are very generous. Right? Just ask any of our very satisfied customers. And I'll even toss in a friends and family discount for you.
Well, that's nice of you. At least you finally decide to be kind to me. As many times as I've saved your ass, at least now you want to help. That's good. That's good.
Honestly, I was fucking around, but the fact that you didn't try and make some, well, you know, I'm your family now, kind of joke about my mother, I'm legitimately willing to help you.
I appreciate that, Ryan.
I appreciate you not fucking around.
Shit has been really bad this week.
Look, I'm more than happy to give you a small loan to get back on your feet. Let's say, I don't know, 15, 20 grand?
Is that enough to get my car out of storage?
Nearly.
Okay. Alright. What's the interest rate?
Well, you know, you're a friend, and I imagine we won't have to deal with this loan for too long, since you're a money maker, aren't you? Let's say, 12%.
12%? Holy fuck! I might have to get a loan to pay off the loan.
Look, you're not gonna take that long to pay it back. We both know that. What's more satisfactory to you, then? Give me a rate that you think's more appropriate.
Okay. How about the book with your name in it?
You have that one. You have my box.
Well, we have all these other boxes. They gotta be in here somewhere, right?
Well, no, we don't. I thought we gave them all to Luca.
I still got mine. I never gave the one that was in my pocket.
And you find that there's still tenuous strings floating out there. What if there were other copies made? It's not much of a thought in the grand scheme of things, but it is in fact a thought. Betraying the betrayer who betrayed the betrayer is right up everyone's alley. If only there was some way to verify the authenticity and the provenance of what was in your belonging, what was in your possessions. As that conversation takes place on the night when you all got back to Vegas, outside of Fancy's studio, as that thread appeared, frayed and escaping from the rest of the whole. Fancy, you're back at your studio. The drive through the desert walk with Anastasia. The exchange between Eugene and Ryan. You're back home. Let's just call it what it is. And there's the funny thing about it is, as much effort, time, and energy you place into your studio, the fact that when you step out of the van, as Ryan and Eugene are speaking and talking, and as you completed the conversation that you had with Anastasia, Arthur, and Eugene, and Ryan through the desert into the night to get here, looking at your studio, shuddered like it has never been all of those decades. The lights aren't on. There's not the sound of hoofs trotting the boards. There's not the lovely dulcet tones of Kareem giving instruction. There aren't a parking lot filled with vehicles and various other persons. The street traffic, the foot flow there on the road just in front of it, still as vibrant as always, but somehow taking and sapping the strength of you. Because as much as you know this is home, safe, as secure as is possible, through all of the efforts that you've made, Luca's not here. Luca, who spent those same years plotting, planning, building a way back to you, this doesn't quite feel like home.
I imagine it's very much kind of like they've done in movies where the main character's just staring off into the distance and the sound of whatever's going on behind them just kind of fades into the darkness and they're just like solely focused on their thoughts. That's kind of where she's at, where she's staring at this dark building that's usually so full of life and laughter and sound, and it's silent. And there's that emptiness. And the last memory of it before that was it being breached and that betrayal. And she just kind of like holds herself and wraps her arms around herself and just, it'll never be the fucking same. I gotta go get Corinne. I can't do this by myself. It's not here without her. And I don't know who's I'm gonna fucking tell her about. Yeah, there's a lot in my head right now. When you all guys decide what you want to do, well, meet me back here tomorrow night. I need a night to go handle what I need to handle. And she goes to unlock her door.
Hey, I'm more than happy that he kind of just like pauses his conversation with Eugene. Yeah, just take this card to get in contact with my friends, and they'll handle the money and whatnot. Just tell them you're a friend of me. Fancy what? You don't have to do whatever it is you need to do alone. We're here.
The first time since we've known her. She's, especially since having gotten back from the compound, she kind of turns around and you catch just a little bit of light glinting off wetness on her cheeks. She kind of shakes her head. Yeah, I know. But you all have things you want to do. And we don't have a lot of time.
Alright. I don't need to go off and do much anything. I want to see my mother, but I can put that aside. What's it you gotta get up to? Just let me know that, and then we can decide from there.
I gotta go get Corinne. They still have her. That was the whole point of this. A lot of this.
I know. But I thought Luca was going to set all that up.
My husband means well, and he's got a lot on his plate right now. And if there's anything I can do to lighten that load, I'm going to do it. I know he said he can make phone calls and get her released, but I need to know that she's okay.
Fancy, she's still held by those people. What exactly are you gonna do? We haven't completed the job they sent us out to complete. If you go in there demanding her, you're gonna die.
We're already dead. I thought you knew that.
I already knew that,
You
yeah,
gotta-
but I'm not...
walking.
If you got a gun, I'll join you, Fancy.
I don't want to go in there guns a-blazing, but if you're absolutely not willing to wait anymore, we've got to do what we've got to do.
Gotta do what we gotta do, and who knows, maybe if we come out of here lucky enough, maybe we can rob the place and get some money.
I don't think that's best. I think that go in and out really quickly might be the smarter thing.
And then rob the place?
The thing is,
No.
we can follow the letter of the request, if not the spirit of the request, or I get those confused. The thing is, we found out the information that we wanted, right? Or they wanted. They wanted to know who was behind it all. We know who's behind it all.
Yeah, but they also
what they
wanted
do
the
with that
boxes.
information is on them.
No, Fancy. Yes, they wanted to know who is behind it, but they also wanted the boxes.
Did they tell us to get the boxes?
Yes, they told us to get the boxes. Yes.
Are you sure?
Yeah, yes, I'm pretty sure.
Fancy, did they tell us to get the boxes?
What? Why are you asking? I'm not dumb, Eugene.
Well,
At this point,
no matter what, Fancy's going up there.
Yeah, I'll just follow her inside as she's walking.
Pretty much. She's
know
gonna
if
go either way.
I don't know if anyone's ever mentioned, but having two bosses is always a bad idea.
No, don't worry. They're not our bosses. Not once things kick in the gear. Right now, they think that we're doing their job, but we're not doing their job. We are doing a different job. Double agents kind of situation, you see.
Still sounds like having two bosses.
To each their own. Well, I mean, can't we use this, Fancy? I mean, we can let Luca know to set a trap somewhere to thin them out and tell them where we think the boxes are, or where we know, quote unquote, the boxes are, and have them send men out to go get them.
That was my plan. And I was going
It works.
You tell them that your pa has them.
Well, I still want to run that past
And we were
Luca
just
because remember, we're supposed to be playing nice with the old man first.
Alright, well, you've got a plan. I'm happy to support you in it, so long as you know what you're doing.
And like a prophecy, spoken in jest, with all the power of all of the pantheons that have ever given them the ability of premonition, the ability to see the far-ranging future. There you are, Martha. As long as you know what you're doing. After settling in to Fancy's, and you all have a plan, and you set about making the arrangements, because unlike being forcefully kidnapped into their presence, getting into the Venetian is not the easiest of things. getting in to meet the Giovannis, to make an arrangement to get to the Black Dogs, at least safely, requires time, effort, and connections. Or you can just storm the Black Dog, but either way, with everyone's connection to the Venetian and everyone's connection to the Black Dog, there is a guaranteed fallout. There is a guaranteed issue at play. Invited guests are better received if they're packing muscle. And right now, you all politically have the correct amount of muscle to have none at all. You're not in the negative, but your individual reputations and your indebtedness, well, places it just beyond immediately tenable. And as you all plotted and planned that evening, you all reached out to your contacts because getting Corinne back was important, is something that required your focus and attention. For you, Martha, there's something else more pressing. The kindred in and around Las Vegas have their fingers in several different pies across the nation, all the way down to Miami, all the way up to New York, all the way north to Seattle, and all the way west to California, Seattle, Sacramento, San Diego. The entirety of the state has ties and connections to the Tremere here in Las Vegas, including places that are literally flyover country. They are not, by any stretch of the definition of the word, fools. You know that it would take them approximately, and taking a quick look at your watch, 72 hours at the outside to track down your child. One of the many secrets that you know is that for all of Montrose's militia's successes, there has been a Tremere involved with each and every one of the 100 or so investigations happening nightly. Tracking down rogue kindred is preeminent for them. And while everyone discusses how to get to the Venetian safely without ruining your cover, without blowing the gig, as it were, you realize that Reese Logan, beaten, hog-tied, and gagged, is another glaring beacon to what might befall you specifically and the coterie in general, adding to the fire that is the fuel of your childer, who, well, in spirit is better off suited to be a bruja. So all of that to say, and as succinctly as possible, the very long way around, what do, Martha? What do? Time is of the essence.
Oh. Oh, so we're just letting them go? I mean, trading them in for something versus just letting them go. You think, and now mind you, your plans are your plans, and you can do what you wish to do, regardless of what I'm about to say here. But keep in mind, we just beat the more loving fuck out of them. Letting them go without any promise of no retribution or anything like that is a great way to just get stabbed in the ass one day, especially given she's Tremere. So, try and get something out of it, at the very least. A promise from someone important that there will be no retribution. If you're going to just drop them off at the chantry. That works. Yeah, no, that's the... I'm sorry for butting in there. I just wanted to make sure you knew what you were doing.
How about $100,000?
Chump change in the kindred world, my friend. Chump change.
So,
Yeah, but I need money.
So as everyone's inside following Fancy, you instruct, request, leverage the vehicle and Reese. Do you leave them alone? You literally pull a smoke bomb and disappear? Or do you converse with them? Let them know.
Oh, all right. Fancy, your thoughts on her? I don't like the bitch. I'd be more than happy to just leave her out in the sun, but I wanted to know whether or not you were all right with letting the baggage out.
I mean, it is what it is. We have to return her at some point. But as long as we can make assurances that any retribution she might seek will be a long ways off. Because I know it's not going to work that we ask for none. She's not going to agree to that. But if we could have a little bit of time, maybe like the next couple years or something, then I'm okay with that.
Yeah, Eugene, you're much for making some money, so and you've got a good head for business. Why don't you go with Martha and see what you can bleed out the Tremere?
Do you honestly think a Tremere's gonna let me into the chantry?
Wait. I just had a fucking thought.
Oh,
This is not good.
did you have the same realization that I just had?
Possibly. So the Seneschal put her in the box. We all took her out of. Martha taking her back.
Oh
to the
yeah,
chantry.
no. Absolutely.
Yeah, we probably shouldn't do that. How about that?
Yeah, no, actually, sorry, Martha. It just occurred to a lot of us all at once that this is a hot item, and she knows some things that she shouldn't know. Why don't you take her down to my place and lock her in one of the safes? Well, there's that, and she knows shit she shouldn't know, such as how to plot against the Seneschal.
Maybe we should ask her how to plot against the Seneschal.
Well, yes, I was thinking of that, but like setting her aside for later, you putting her somewhere that no one can get in, and she definitely can't get out.
So we're gonna put her in a smaller box?
No, I'm putting her in... I have a very tall safe.
She got out of that one.
What? No, she got out of a fucking box. Eugene.
So, just... You said that they're the Harry Potter types. Can't they just poof out of a safe?
No, I mean, look, I don't know much about them fucking nerds, but I do know that they can't just fucking zoop out of a steel box.
I think we
If
should
she
just make
could
sure they're
back
covered
up,
in concrete.
Yeah, like that's silly.
We say that now until she zoops out of the box.
If she zoops out of the box, fuck me then, I guess. Martha, do you care to just drop her off on one of my safes? I'll give you the combination. Oh, okay. Alright. Martha, please take a look at Fate Cat. And do any of us care about what the trunk-bound woman is trying to shout out through her muffles?
Is
More
it
than
about how to make some money?
who knows? We can pop the trunk and ask her.
Do you got a knife?
I always have a knife, Eugene.
Can I borrow your knife?
Sure. He takes out a little pot knife and hands it to him.
Fuck is this?
It's like a dollar store flip knife. Don't judge me. You've got to do with what you got to do.
Damn. Have better luck with a shoestring. Alright, well. Let's see what she's saying, if it's worth getting her out of a box.
Alright, he walks around and hits the trunk button, the trunk lever. Fancy, feel free to continue whatever it is you need to do in there. We're gonna be outside here for a little bit. He says, just kind of out on the street.
As you move to the front, Martha, close counts in bags even. Close does not count for the Tremere. Perfection. You will be perfect is the common refrain. You will not be. That's not just a threat. It's a promise. It's a motto. It's a vision statement for how they see themselves and want themselves to be seen. The moment you crossed into the municipal area of Las Vegas, that ticking time clock that you so adequately and aptly envisioned began. Remember just a few seconds ago the mention that for the hundreds of investigations that Montrose's militia carries out on a nightly basis, that there is a Tremere at the heart of it, involved in it, helping to track down rogue, unnamed, unaligned kindred. And you all return to Vegas with such a being in your presence.
Ruh-roh. Speaking of such a being. Ah, man. The one of my characters that has no means of seeing these fucks.
What do you mean? You can see everyone. Everyone's there. Anastasia's there. Eugene was there. Fancy was there. Martha was there. You
Wait,
were there.
Why are you using past tense? Anastasia, are you there? Hello?
I am. I'm just looking at dice pools.
Gotcha, okay.
Welcome back.
Sorry about that. I had to reset it. Are you satisfied with that pool?
I mean, it's the only pool I've got. Do you
I mean,
mean, am
sorry,
I satisfied
result.
with the roll?
Yes, you knew what I mean. Hey!
There's a moment in every person's life. There's a defining moment that is forgotten almost immediately. And it's a before and after moment. There's a cognitive awareness of yourself that changes everything that came before and everything that follows. It's affected by your environment, it's infected by your genetics, it is infected by the sun on the day that it happened, whether it was at night or it was during the day. All of those things factor into that forgotten, unforgettable moment because it changes the plasticity of your mind. It changes what you perceive. It changes your ability to begin to understand. And science, being science, tested such things till destruction, proving it until they found where they couldn't prove it and making sure that it was reliably a thing. That forgotten moment, in the grand scheme of things, comes barreling up out of the darkness of Anastasia's memory. She suddenly realizes she is herself. Equivalently, because as you all discussed, as they all discussed what was to be done with Miss Logan, the horrible monstrosities from the imagination of her youth. Creepy crawlies that made her skin itch for months afterwards. The feel of the caterpillar underneath the bed, crawling up out of the crack in the floorboards, and how it crawled over her fingers, stinging her, biting her, attacking her in its own way, because it saw her as a threat, comes barreling up out of her mind. She watches as first one, then the next of the passers-by take interest in the van and the kindred around the van. Her only exposure to this hidden world that has always been there, at least according to them. Unless, of course, she's just having a very bad trip. It wouldn't be the first time that Anton dosed her and made her ride along with his evening of fun. But this is considerably much farther than that, because she sees them. She watches as they move like shadows closer and closer and closer. And she is the only one who does.
She's gonna take one step back towards the door, 2 steps back towards the door. Guys?
Yeah, what is it?
Does no one else see that?
What?
What?
Look up. Other side of the street.
Do I see the standard pedestrians of Las Vegas? Or do I see an empty street?
In all of their usual chaotic glory, you've got Panama shorts, and you've got snow boots, and you've got high heel shoes, and you have flip-flops, and you have shoeless shoes. You have a wide assortment of styles of dress. You got a 3-piece suit, a ball gown, a pair of Speedos. You see all manner of persons, fat, thin, skinny, emaciated, horribly, morbidly loose skin dragging along behind them, You see the full width and breadth of the cruelty of mankind's sense of self. In other words, Las Vegas on a Tuesday night.
I mean,
and could you call it out? Because I'm not seeing it.
I'm just seeing the normal, yeah. Speaking of which, Eugene, can you get the "This is an act" sign out?
This is an act sign? Sure.
Wait a second, I think I recognize that speedo.
So, obviously, we can't see whatever it is that you're seeing. What does it look like?
People, but not people.
That's a lot to unpack.
What do you mean, like? Give a little bit of a descriptor, like describe one of them.
Like, call it out, maybe?
I will point out like one of the outfits of the person.
Oh, that's
hardly good, but still don't see.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wait. What's this? Please roll strength plus brawl -2.
Sweet.
Wait, so you mean roll nothing? Is that what you're saying, Nobu?
Everything is something.
You get one die.
Is that -2 from the result or from the pool?
The pool only.
Okay, the pool only. Yeah, that will specifically be 0 dice for me.
That means you roll 1 die. A chance die.
Hell yes. Let's go, baby. Leroy. Oh.
Sweet.
That was awesome, Ryan.
That was...
We are saved.
It's literally not even... Oh, it's a 1 in 10 chance.
Well, you got one of them.
I didn't get any of them.
Well, it's 1 in 10, so you got one of them.
Well, let's look at it like this. You beat the statistical probability of that being your only outcome. You won. You exceeded expectations.
Thank God he got the "This is an act" sign out before fucking fists started flying. Yeah, you also roll 1 die. Please, get a 1. Do it.
What? I roll anything?
Yeah. Everybody but her, strength plus brawl -2.
It won't even let me re-roll shit, so that's what it...
Yeah, no. That's why I'm looking at my bestial failure, and I'm just like, this is gonna be a good night.
It's a great night.
Oh,
It was.
brawl -2.
Yeah, strength plus brawl -2.
It's all good. As all this is going on, Anastasia is still slowly inching back towards the doors.
Yeah, it's a great night for everyone but us.
Hey, I tried.
Damn. You were this close, buddy. You were this close to mattering.
I believe you missed by this much. just waiting on Martha.
Yep. Oh no, she also rolled.
Oh, there you go. You slipped right there between Fancy and Eugene. Nice and comfortable, right in the
Martha,
middle.
I didn't know you had obfuscate.
So, here's the question, and the only question that really matters in this particular situation. Anastasia, as you're nearly to the door, when they teleport, when they move faster than you expect, closer and sooner than you expect, does Anastasia take up arms to defend herself or to defend her party?
Self-preservation kicks in. She's getting the fuck out. Or rather, in the door.
Strength plus athletics.
Well, heck yes. One of us can get more than a singular success. Look at that.
Right? She's like, I've already died once in the last couple of nights. Fuck that, I'm done.
You know, you still have a singular die to reroll if you're really feeling froggy.
Indubitably.
Sure, why not? What's the worst that can happen?
Hey!
Look at that. Absolutely.
He's like, peace out, dudes.
If only I had a gun.
Holy crap, look at that. So you make it into Fancy Studio. The last time you were here, you were a child in the care of Kareem. The beautiful memories that you had of someone who actually gave a damn about you come floating forward up out of the past, much like everything else, shattered and broken by the reality that you are in. Running into the studio, cutting off all means of escape for you personally, gives you the opportunity to watch and dread as the persons, because that's what they are. They haven't really registered as the whole, oh, but vampires there. Yeah, they've told you such things, but you've gotten high with Anton before, so you know that anything is possible if you but dream it. And this could in fact be a very real, horrible trip. That is until you step fully inside the studio. The place, one of the last few places you were loved. One of the last few times you were appreciated. The last few times before having to dig deep and build yourself anew out of the poverty of your past, you mattered to anyone. Last time someone exerted any effort to consider your feelings. The last time someone saw that you had a good meal. The last time someone cared about your emotional well-being. That, at least until this bad trip, these people who, while capable of violence, while capable of doing and saying harsh things, while capable and willingly affected by the lashing of your tongue, have done their moderately adequate best to educate you for your survival. These people who all but ignored your difference. You didn't get their vibe, their lingo, their world that they brought you into. But instead of responding with the immediate threats to your person, instead of threatening your future. Instead of holding their largesse of power over your head, they engaged, conversed, they extended over themselves. And then the monsters got them. As you stammered, you pointed, and the world twisted and turned once more on its axis. You're inside the studio, the last place you were cared for. Which is funny in the grand scheme of things. Because as you stand there taking in all of that nostalgic past, hitting you like a professional prize fighter, Fancy, who was a step behind you as you backed past her and nearly tripped over her. Brian, who jokingly tossed out several bits of this and that. Martha, who, as far as everyone's concerned, has told you is your creator, your mother, your spiritual guide. And Eugene are taken by the monsters. The baritone voice that greets your ears as they fight, put up a defense, and are taken into custody. Them, I know. I don't. But unfortunately for you, there is such thing known as guilt by association. Would you prefer this the easy way? Or would you like a little whiff?
Well, I like not being dead, so...
To look is a difficult thing to do. Staring into the face of all of that destroyed this maw that is Montrose's face. Montrose literally looks as if someone attempted with a very rusty blade to deglove his face. And he looks as if they've done it freshly. The skin on that upper right portion of his face, across his nose, down past that cheek, and his jawline, which, if it was clothed in skin, would look perfectly immaculate. He'd have the jawline that movie stars of old would yearn for. But unfortunately, because of the degloving of that portion of his skin on his face, hangs over his lip and pulls like a turtleneck underneath his chin. Just a row and row of several layers of skin, degloved and rolled down. Oftentimes, the foolish who believe that they are alone in the dark of Las Vegas make the joke that he looks like a, well, phallus that hasn't been circumcised. It's not unfair to make that approximation. It's a foolish thing to do out loud. It is fairly accurate. The pink, fatty tissue of his face, the constantly leaking vitae from the wounds, and the rolls upon rolls of skin there underneath his chin easily remind someone of such a thing. There's the audacity of saying it out loud. Even the sanctity of the dark of one's own private abode holds the risk of the petty infliction of painful education to never let such a thing slip past the lips again. And staring into that strangely cross-eyed, engaging, because it's hard to look away. It's so grotesque. and beyond the pale, that seeing it holds the eye, strikes up the imagination. Easy or hard. And it is 19 past the hour. Take a quick 10 minutes here. All right, who survived the break?
I am here.
I mean, survive might be a little high.
Most of us. That is far too good. And it's the last of it. Damn it all. Should have got more. So Monster has this, well, new to me, Ultra Fantasy Ruby Red. And it's the new modified grapefruit flavored thing. It's absolutely delicious. Put it over ice, let it sit while we play, and slowly, lightly sip. And before you know it, it's almost done. It is absolutely delicious. It's better than when I first opened the can and it was like, oh, that's not. Now it tastes absolutely divine.
I just finished one of those. That exact flavor.
Nice. So you know the flavor of the Ruby Red.
I do. But yeah, it's new. It's only been out a couple of months.
I never can tell with these things because sometimes they don't stock the same ones. For instance, there was this one that popped up, Rosa, and now I can't find it anywhere.
But sorry, I almost cut my fingers off.
Don't do
We
that.
don't want to do that. Jinx, you owe me a soda. Yeah, no, you don't want to do that. That's not good. Eugene, you guys make it back?
I've been back. I've never left. Well,
You
besides
never
the
said anything.
or tea, you never left me.
I did. I said who survived the break.
I usually keep a pretty big box of like box cutters because we go through them. We're a crafting house, so we go through them fairly quickly. And I grabbed one that the little guard had fallen off the back of and didn't realize.
Oof.
Welcome back, Martha. All right, so that was 3 nights ago. The capturing of the Lost at Fancy's studio. And the reason why you all were brought to bear, not because of Anastasia, not because of her being a rogue, unknown kindred, though that, of course, was the first thing that popped into Martha's mind. Like, oh no, the hammer's falling. The jig is up. It is time to play the piper. With no gold, no coins to toss. No, nothing quite so simple as that. Montrose, ever the wily, determined, and all-around not nice guy that he is, had a sending stone while Reese was tortured, placed just behind her liver. The moment that she crossed into Las Vegas, he was made immediately aware and zoomed in and honed in with all due haste. If you all hadn't taken the long way home, you all would have probably been stopped at the border. Because you took the long way in the back road and came around from this way and that way and went up that way and backtracked that way and came in a way that was normally not conducive to quickly moving across Las Vegas. When they zoomed in toward the border where you all should have crossed, you were already well past them. They had been trailing you for the bulk of the evening, trying to get to Reese. And you all spent the last few days in their care, in their company, specifically being asked the same stupid fucking questions over and over and over and over again. You don't know her, don't like her. You know of her. You don't know who all's connected with her. It's the repeated, constantly attack from various different angles and rephrasings. And finally, after all of that, everyone please move your hunger to 2.
Aw.
You all are released and relinquished of your imprisonment. You're allowed to go your own way, with the reminder that Montrose is constantly watching, that you all now owe a debt to the city at large. You can repay that debt by bringing him, get this, of all things that you all could have been forced to do, required to accomplish, to stoop, bend and scrape and crawl through the mud to accomplish. There is one singular asshole that you all have to bring to him. One singular fuckboy that you all have to bring to him. And the reason why he's been able to escape notice, because unfortunately, he's human. Unfortunately, he hasn't been seen in Vegas for the last few weeks. Fucking Miguel Cortez, who reneged on the deal with several of Montrose's associates, several of the members of his militia, the Hounds of Las Vegas, the Hounds that took you all into custody at his behest. Specifically, Sergei, the head and only official Hound. And all you have to do is bring Miguel Cortez to have a conversation.
Forgive me for misremembering, but isn't that the guy that got killed out in the desert?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Does anyone have a politics or an etiquette at a deficit? Meaning you don't have a chance die, you don't have a 1 die, but you have several flaws that would make the application of politics and etiquette a detriment to you.
No. Not here, I don't think.
Well, the reason why I asked is because during the questioning and the poking and the probing and the probbing, would anyone be
Dumb enough.
Less than intelligent enough to mention the fact you all know where Miguel Cortez is to begin with.
Nope.
With the four dot pool, I think I'm okay.
Yeah, I don't think anybody in this group's that dumb. Sorry, that less than
That was
intelligent.
not here.
So when you all were released from Montrose, Prince Benedict says, as you all come to that portion of the tale, when you were given a second reprieve at life, what did you all do next? At which point we step back from where you are in front of Prince Benedict after 3 days in Montrose's care, and you all arrive back at Fancy Studio. What, if anything, do you all decide?
On a productive note, I feel like Ryan's plans to, like, he'd relay this to everybody, but his intentions are to start collecting information and the like on Montrose. Because if he survives the power swaps, so on and so forth, he would be a good asset to have. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
Well, I was going to ask the storyteller, because Montrose is an ally of mine, is there any possible way that I could, like, get him to not have us do this? Or at least change it to, like, us being hounds or something. You know, or work for him for a little bit to as a hound, so that we can not do this.
I think this is us working for him. Also, I believe that your status as his ally is what keeps us from just getting murdered.
Okay. And to answer questions, first thing is to check in released by the snack cave. Second is to decide as a group because there he is. So how you're able to go retrieve body or what do we there? And then there's also still and you need to figure out the whole group.
You broke up a little bit, but Corinne has not been released. In fact, there's word on the street for those of you with ties to the Down and Out Club, for you with ties to Hakata, specifically the Castiglione aspect of the Hakata. They're getting antsy. There's word or rumors from TikTok and Facebook and MySpace and Instagram and Twitter that for the first time in years, the former champ, David Allen Wells Newman, has been seen in multiple places that were not the Venetian, that were not the elite restaurant, several restaurants that are at the Venetian. He was seen about the town, almost as if he's looking for someone or someone's.
We need to handle that now.
Alright,
He's coming for us. He's looking for us. So we need to sort that.
Works for me. I'll put my mind to that then.
Is there a possibility that I could get my hands on some guns?
You know, it's funny. You happen to have a actual contact in the Down and Out Club who's told you about this great cut rate, i.e., discounts and understanding of people's financial difficulties, who deals guns. Nothing like a discount on firearms to make enough money to get something that's not discounted, right?
I check to make sure that the gun that I make sure that I ask him before I get the gun. Is there any bodies on this gun, just in case? Because I need to know the level of careful I need to have
So you
on it.
use your connections with the Down and Out Club to make connections with the bargain basement everywhere firearms guy. They set up a meeting for you to make connections with Cortez's network. Miguel Cortez. He's the best, most inexpensive gun runner in Las Vegas.
Oh, okay.
It's been really hard to get a hold of as of late, but if you can catch up with Vance or Nikki or Eddie, you know, the West Side crew, they have very strong and reliable ties to getting their hands on Miguel.
Start looking for Vance and Nikki. Any place
And
that
while
they
that
might
is happening,
possibly hanging out at? Like Southside?
the West Side crew on the South Side is almost a death sentence for everyone involved. Luckily for you, they're not as violent as they seem, and they have a larger reputation than their actual deeds. So while you're scrounging and hunting and using your connections with the Down and Out Club to make those arrangements, and while Fancy is using her connections via several huge, glaring favors that she owes to Kirkwood, she owes to what's her name? The street musician Raven, and several others through the Good Girls Network, those who graduated from or still owe debts to the Fancer Fisher Performance Academy, to begin finding a location, begin building up the necessary funds to get those locations on the register and making connections to various other venture around the city for the Garuja. While that is happening, Martha, you are aware that one of the Tremere has been betrayed, not by the Tremere as a whole, but by themselves willing to betray the Tremere. There are conspiracies and actions being carried out by various members of the pyramid that are working against the city as a whole or working against other cities outside of the domain. Those cities you're not so much concerned about, but the fact that Reese Logan was and is considered, well, an enemy of the state. Does that give you any ideas or ways to properly educate and present your child?
I'm
That's easier said than done because there have been several robberies of Tremere properties across the city. The various safes have been hit. Various caches of information that was used for enhanced information gathering and leverage being removed from their properties by some jackass, despicably deplorable human, because they're warded against very most things. And by most things, I'm talking ghouls, lupines, ghosts, kindred. The one gray area, you cannot ward against mortals specifically. And yet someone knew they had access to this information, and some mortal, and they're not sure whom, was able to circumvent their security, get inside, get the information, and get out. To say that there is an uproar and an increase in executing security protocols for the pyramid would be an understatement. Your sire, Jody, typically does not have or carry firearms. Your sire typically does not have nor maintain a force of ghouls. Yet, when you find them and you make your way to their public-facing haven, not their sanctum, because you still don't know where that is, but when you get them by themselves, you track them down to their public-facing haven in a few nights where they're actually there, it takes several conversations with their ghouls, it takes several conversations to get past security, and you and Jody are alone inside their public-facing haven, their trap haven, as it were. Because anyone who knows that it's there should know. So if you know that it's there, it means you've been stalking them, and this is the chance where they usually get their comeuppance, they get their revenge, they spring their trap. It being so heavily fortified on top of its normal security is the definition of a red flag. And Jody, with his very much accented normal voice, normal speaking, you don't understand how difficult this is. First, my partner in crime, my ally, the one person in the entirety of the chantry that I rely on, has gone missing. And no one knows where she is. I've already importuned our seneschal twice to help me find what has become of Reese. Yes, a few weeks ago she went to check on a cache and disappeared. No one knows what happened. What? Motherfucker. I've watching him for weeks. What happened to her? Where was she? You don't understand. She has... No. How do you know Montrose has it? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay. Fuck. No, alive. It's too fucking soon. Alright, so Montrose has her. And you're sure about this. You would wager your immortality on this being truthful and accurate. Martha, you don't understand. For years now, we have been working on trying to find an alternative method and obtain leverage over Montrose. We found out that he had been collecting information on the kindred present and relying in the city to use at his own behest to support himself and his power base. The whole illusion of Montrose's militia is a myth. Those poor kindred are indebted to him because he has knowledge on not only them, but their sires and their families and those who have living descendants. Me and Reese were working on the way to ensure that we, Tremere, were free of all of his potential blackmail. And we nearly had everything. And then a few weeks ago, some idiot, we're not sure how they found out. Someone managed to collect the information that we hid in our actual havens, as well as those that we've hid in other Tremere. Has anyone been to your place? I hid a very important piece of puzzle at your haven. Has anyone broken in? Does anyone know? Do you know if anyone's made it into your haven? It is very important. The key to it all. The truth behind who Montrose actually was. Oh my goodness. Okay. So there's a chance that Montrose knows about most of this, but he cannot know because I excised the memory from Lisa's mind.
Fuck.
We need to get to your haven. We need to make sure that no one knows. While we go, was there you came for something? Not my problems, not our problems. What were you going to say? We all have those college days. It's fine. Sexuality is fluid. It doesn't matter. You are what you say you are. Oh my God. Oh my. You can't do this. Who know? Does anyone else know? No. We cannot have you illegally embrace and your coterie. When did you get a coterie? We need their information, and I will make sure that I send spirits to hound them so they don't get any rest during the day, which would weaken them, and we can make sure we remove them before Montrose turns them against us. Many of these other kindred are in your coterie. Or, probably far easier, we can find this childer of yours. You didn't set them free. You have them stashed somewhere close, right? Yeah. At your haven, maybe? Okay, so we need to get them alone. We need to bleed them completely dry. Make sure that their ashes are burned. That way, no proof. If anyone who has an idea who says that you accidentally, purposefully, or otherwise illegally embrace, there's no proof of it if they don't exist. And if you summon a demon outside of the city that happens to ingest or diablerize the prince's soul, does it matter where it was created? From the prince, but unfortunately you can't get the prince without Montrose. You don't want to tie this up in a nice neat bow. Fine, we won't do that. We will push this off and we'll wait till later. However, and this is the problem, no one can know that you sired illegally until we get the information from your haven. We blackmail Montrose or dispatch him. As long as Montrose exists, he is a threat. The blackmail that he's managed to steal back from us, if we don't get our hands on it, God knows, what if he makes copies of any of that? Do you know that for decades he's been collecting information on every allowed kindred in Las Vegas? I was the prince of lies. The seneschal, who is actually the prince of the city. Benedict doesn't fucking matter. He's too lazy to do anything. For almost a full century, Montrose has been ruling this place. He's been keeping Benedict entertained and keeping the rest of every other kindred from dealing with Benedict directly. Even his own line of blue bloods rarely sees him outside of the Guruja, the one place where Montrose is not directly allowed. And then he's surrounded by his manservants and his bodyguards, and there's some, I'm not sure, I think it's mostly Masonic based, like they have to bow and kiss and place knives to their throat and have blood through the tails. I'm not sure. I know that it happens. I know that once a month they disappear, all of them, and have their little meeting without Montrose, and then they come back. And it changes places every month. So we just need to find a way that anyone who knows where the Guruja might be. Okay, this is a good thing. This is good news. We need to get to your haven. We need to get the information. You need to stake your child so that no one finds out about them until we take care of Montrose. And we can take care of Montrose with the blackmail information by putting it in the prince's hand. Does this sound like a plan that we can do? And while you travel to your haven, across town, from that moment when that was happening, when that conversation was taking place, Ryan, the sheer amount of fuckery you come home to, the sheer amount of incredulous connections that have fallen by the wayside, that have popped up through the cracks like they were diamond-plated weeds in your perfectly manicured lawn and sidewalk. It's enough to bring tears to the eye. Most glaring, the most destructive, when you get to your shop, when you get to your bail bondsman, all your books are neatly stacked and waiting for your perusal, along with a lockbox, a strong box of money. Holding that strong box of money are the two most entrenched members of the ironclad Madam's retinue, her security team. Every one of your bonds outstanding.
I ask what the fuck you're doing here.
Yeah, we're buying you out. Now we can do it nicely, or we can make sure we hand this same amount of money to your mother so that she can properly bury you.
I'm sorry. Did you just come into my home and decide that you're not only going to force me out of it, but you're going to make me bleed otherwise? Is this what you want this conversation to be based off of?
We like to keep things simple. You have a shit ton of books and outstanding debts. We're going to buy you out. We're not going to put you out of business, but we temporarily need all of your bonds.
Why
You
for
can
it?
work.
You're not... Explain. Why do you need these bonds?
We have plans that members that are in your bonds, we need access to. And here's the thing. We know you, like every other businessman, is going to try to find an angle to extort more out of us. That's a fair price. It is what you're owed by each of your bonds men. And we're not putting you out of business. We're paying off all of your books. We're taking the risk. Point. Once our business is concluded, you may, if you want, purchase them back. Or some of them back. Or none of them back. That's on you. But the madam needs your entire book.
Oh, she needs my book.
Yes.
That's great. It's absolutely great.
This is a favor. Everyone knows your mother, Lori. She would have been the ironclad madam if she didn't stop and have acid. She taught Giselle everything she needs to know about running a business. This is a favor to you for her, so that we don't have to come back here and firebomb the shit out of you. So we don't have to find the hackers that can get into your network and release all the information to us and then erase it. This is a favor. We're buying your book, or we're taking your book. Which is it going to be?
I love that. I really do. I want to put it across to both of you that you've got this very well thought out, for the most part. Now, I say that because I'm more than willing to do business with people, especially given that while one of my friends may have a lot of issues with you, I don't necessarily give a flying fuck about you. The problem is, you keep threatening me, and that just screams of arrogance. An arrogance that I cannot abide. So how about this?
So you're saying no?
Just a moment. You go talk to your boss and have her come herself, and we can discuss this like adults, rather than having some dressed up, hopped up goons come and threaten me. I am a businessman, and I'm here for business. I'm not here
Why
to
do you
deal
want
with
to do this
folks.
the hard way? Why do you want to do this the hard way?
The hard way? Aren't you listening to me? I'm trying to do this the easy way.
You then gave us the orders. Giselle is done fucking around. Your mom and her, I don't know, bull, the black guy who was there picking up the boxes the other day for the syndicate, did not deliver. And because they didn't deliver, as per usual, now we have to clean this shit up. Giselle is done playing games.
Honestly,
There-
you two look like you just started playing games. Coming in here thinking that you can do this. No, I am Ryan motherfucking Hughes. And you
Yeah.
need to get the fuck out of here and stop talking to me like I'm some kind of easily put out chump. If you want to talk business, get her to talk business. I don't know what my mother does. And to be perfectly honest, I'm half willing to bleed all of you for even doing business with my mother.
Look, buddy. Al, Solly here, he's old school. He looks young, but that's just because he's stupid. Look, we got a situation. You could solve this situation very, very easily. We have a box full of money, and we're willing to respect all that your mother has done. We need your book. We really do. I'm sorry he put it across so rudely. But our boss, Giselle, your mother's protege, is ordinarily angry. I'll even share a little secret with you, as long as you promise to keep it between us.
Gestures from me. Go
Our-
ahead.
Her silent partner went missing a few weeks ago. So now, what was normally just a standard emergency has become untenable. I don't know if you know who the enforcer is. Carol, that madman, was secretly Giselle's silent partner. And without Carol backing, we need one of the persons who has bond in your books. I want to say who, because of course you're a businessman. You're going to get the most money for it. We're giving you a fair value with 15% over what your book is worth, so that we can get that one person out of hot, so that we can re-fortify Giselle's network, the network that your mother built. Don't you care about your legacy? Help us out, buddy.
This far more to my taste. I do want you to leave here happy, as I do with all my customers. And so, understanding the dire straits that you and your organization find yourselves in, more than happy to make a deal with you. Now, on the other hand, should this, he gestures towards his box of outstanding debts, not be to the entire extent of what help you will need financially and otherwise, you can come visit me again for a bit of a talk. He points towards the more friendly one. Should your boss find themselves in need of another backer or otherwise, come on down to Hughes and Sons. Now, leave the money, take the box, and please get out.
You've never seen people start and stop sweating so quickly. The pressure of that conversation was enough to change their lives. It is clear that there's significant value and monies on the table. There's significantly something in the offing that is threatening to change the landscape. If the ironclad madam sending her chief enforcers, her chief bully boys, her chief body men around, there has been a terrible disturbance in the force. For years, she's skated. She's all but flaunted her criminality in the public eye and gotten away with it. You're changing. Almost as if someone, somewhere, may in fact have their hands on secrets pertaining to. Speaking of secrets, and how it pertains and who it pertains to, Eugene, the connections and ties to Miguel don't stop. You find out by tracking down several other individuals who are only loosely connected that Miguel Cortez is a company, not a singular individual. A company of gun runners and other criminals who are using that name. Before we dive into that, Anastasia, you're set free. Now, of all of the things that you've seen in these last few days, all of the things that you've been privy to, and been witness to, the thing that's most pressing and most glaring is that you need a place to lay your head. Now that you've been released from imprisonment, enhanced questioning and interrogation.
Right, that is a pressing need. She will. Oh. Would, through her brother or Miguel, since she knew him, would she have anyone here in Vegas that she knows that she might be able to crash at?
Yeah, her stepmother, Green, the only person who's actually ever cared for her. Green's place. Being inside of the academy, it's impossible that the sheer bombastic gust of force of the past did not threaten to sweep her out to sea. Impossible that the weight of what Green did for her and Anton would not weigh as she was Marley with all of his chains. And in the memory of that, you know where she stays. You know her home. Even with having had to steal away and rebuild herself. Even with all of the weight of the insanity of being dead and back in Las Vegas. You are always welcome in Corinne's home and in her heart. Question is, does she forgive herself enough to do so?
I would think that she, if nothing else, can rationalize it as survival.
Roll your resolve plus composure on DC4. You've never been so angry. You don't know why. You've never been so filled with the need to destroy something beautiful. But there's certain inalienable truths. She knows about how long her worst trip was taking. Her worst trip lasted just under 2.5 days. This is real. The weight of now is the weight of truth and veracity. She's dead, which also means Anton is dead. Which also means that the one person left living is being held against her will by individuals out there in the darkness she doesn't know. Person who's built her entire life with moving forward. There were two things she can count on and no longer exist. His network of friends, associates, and cronies is gone. That leaves Corinne. That leaves the life that she left back in Corinne. She can't go back to until this is settled. That leaves her conscience with the fact that because of her distance, Corinne and Anton ended up in the situations they were in. She's always been the more level-headed one. She hasn't been the dreamer that Corinne has been. Fantasizing while keeping her feet on the ground. That's not who she was. Asia is builded by her hands. Fix it with her. Pull it out of the dirt, clean it, polish it, sell it, and make more so she can continue moving forward. She's only able to do so because Corinne was out there. Corinne has always been there. To call her, to text her, and now she's here. Years removed from the little girl she once was. And Anton is dead. It's real. It's true. And she's here in the place where she was loved and she wanted. And there's nothing here but the ghosts of the past, including the day her father and Corinne broke up, or more specifically, he broke Corinne's jaw and dragged Anton and her out of here, kicking and screaming. And being back here under these circumstances is a mountain of everything piled higher than she could see falling in on her. Yet somehow, she's managed to choke it down to keep from lashing out. What do?
Once she gets over that initial burst of rage, she will go through just kind of in her own way catching up with Curran, even though she's not there. Things that she's added, things that maybe have been taken away or discarded. Small changes in the place. Reading through journals or flipping through photo albums.
Anastasia flips a page and then another. The memories flowing like a faucet turned on full bore. And then she can see those pages in her hands. But how did that add or lead to what happened to Montrose? Anastasia still seeing that picture of her walking along the precipice, the world seeming to blend into the sky in the background. Eugene, it takes some of forever to get your hand on enough capital to even afford the opportunity of meeting with Miguel Cortez that doesn't actually exist. You've seen Miguel Cortez. You know what he looks like. So hearing his name and being pointed in his direction, it's a bit of a letdown, but you are assured that Miguel Cortez is the person that you need. Not for Montrose, but for the guns. You do what you do. You beat the bushes. You do what you do. You follow the money. And you catch up with Nikki. Her high cheekbones and hexagonal earrings, the telltale sign of who she is. Those large brown eyes that seem to stare into someone's soul, and that tough girl tilt to her head, looking down her nose at everything, including you. Not part of the network, not part of the club, but loosely associated. Able to know enough to do enough harm that she's dangerous to herself and everyone else. Luckily she has backup. Luckily she has Vance. Luckily. So when you meet them on the west side up near Summerlin, not far from Town Center Road, there's something gnawing at your mouth. Something eating around the edges. Some footnote you forgot.
Taking out one of my small little notepads, just kind of put a little pen and to try to recall what it is that's gnawing off the edges. Is it like something perhaps that she reminds me of someone, or there's some reason I should know her? Is it something that I could possibly maybe recall? Or is it just something that just kind of...
Would you be so kind as go ahead and roll your wits plus streetwise DC 3?
Ooh. Wits and streetwise. Whew. That's gonna be a rough one. Hold on. Let's streetwise. Possibly my specialty and black market help me in this instance.
Yes.
Or not.
Okay.
Or not.
I hate being the bearer of bad news. Not because there's any superstition or anything like that. But bad news carries its own resonance, its own energy. It's the sort of thing that, like luck, is all in your head, but once it's there, it takes a changing of energy, a realignment to escape. While fate and destiny has its enjoyment in the wide various vicissitudes that befall all of us mortals underneath this grass, I am not so to take solace in that. Unfortunately, for Eugene, would you be so kind as to roll your dexterity and athletics as high as you possibly can? Because while it takes him longer than he has to put 1 and 1 together to get 11, when he secures the meeting with Nikki and her cohorts, they, however, don't have that issue. They don't have that problem. They're quicker on strolling down memory lane. They're quicker on the uptick. And there's one thing that Eugene is aware of that he's not sure or aware that he's aware of. That one thing, as he's leaping out of the way of a spray of bullets, money has already exchanged hands, and they've given him the gun with no ammunition. The thing that Eugene forgets, that he didn't realize that he knows. Not only were they competitors and enemies of Miguel, who was friends and associates with Anton, they were also only being held in check, kept down, paid underneath the waters of criminality because Kiro did so. They have had almost a week of non-interference from Kiro, which means they are able to carry out all of their old vendettas. And they've been searching for the immortal. They've been searching for Miguel. They've been searching for Eugene, who, up until a week ago, was the collection boy for their protection payments. Eugene, they're just another stop along the trail. But then, he was part of the mechanisms used to keep them down. And now, there's no big bad wolf out there that they need to keep paying protection for. Because no one's seen Kiro. No one's seen Anton. No one's seen Miguel Cortez. But then, out of the clear blue, this jackass, this person, this middle manager who's kept his boot on our necks shows up. Get their lick back.
Yeah. Okay. How many of them am I dealing with? 2 or 1? Or 3?
3. You have the gun. No bullets, but you do have the gun.
Is there a potentiality that I could potentially absconds with just my gun with no bullets?
Nothing is impossible.
Okay. There are 3 people all shooting at Eugene, and he has a gun with no bullets.
Yep.
Are they all grouped together, or they just kind of got him in a pincer?
2 of them are. Vance is extraordinarily protective over Nikki.
Okay, is there anything around, like a rock?
The ones in his head? No.
Okay, Eugene's going to try to get to a darker area and get the hell out of this particular area because this is not working.
Running is always an option. Fleeing is always an option.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. That is the plan for right now, is fleeing.
Well, that being the case, we should go ahead and read Dexterity Athletics. And while that's happening, the moment
Well,
Benny
actually,
looks,
you know what? How far away are they from?
they are within range of firearms. A dangerous range of firearms and melee weapons. They're in that middle space where firearms are deadly, but so too is, well, a well-timed, well-placed blade. So too is, a well-timed, well-placed swing of a bat. They are close enough for it to be within range and far enough that it is not easy.
Okay. All right. I am going to do something. Once they're close enough, I'm going to try to dive and pistol whip Nikki. That's what I'm going to do.
You knew this girl named Nikki, did you? Okay. What's the total? Eugene's strength plus firearms.
5.
Okay.
So would I be using dexterity or strength to cover the distance and just to whip Nikki?
Strength.
Would I get any bonuses for soaring leap?
No, it just allows you to. It increases your effective range of leaping.
Okay. Just wanted to double check. Alright, so 5 it is. Really? There we go.
It is a close fight. And by close, I mean, within the same general country mile. And while Eugene is far more successful than most would assume, he is a man with a plan and a man with a skill in regards to firearms. They're used both as cudgels, infliction of pain, and people opener thrower. Also, they make very good paperweights. Like an object, the art, you sit on the desk, and a conversation piece. He is a master of them. Unfortunately, outnumbered though he is, skilled though he is, the luck runs out everyone eventually. Fortunately for Eugene, that luck is today. Tonight. Or more accurately, the same foul business that fate, kismet have hurled at him. Continue. Beating the female member of the triplet. Cracking open her nose, breaking her cheek, sending her sprawling, incenses the other members. And you're not sure what school of gun fu they went to, but they dug deep. And they came up swinging. Just as the matter was nearly settled, projectiles tearing through various extremities of Eugene, his vitae, filling portions of his suit and shoe, and looking like it's all but over. Of all the individuals that you assume might be there when your immortality ran out, a dude with a lot of deal was not one of them. Yet, he and his team of Slavic enforcers, big and broad of shoulder, thick of neck, mad of eye, the sort of person that headbutts trees because he's thinking about what sap it might produce. Drive off and otherwise harass Eddie and Vance and the unconscious Nikki, leaving him there with Vladatil, where a conversation takes place. And the backing takes place. He needs someone to replace his enforcer. He's gone missing. And he's not sure how or why, but the voices of his ancestors, speaking with the voice and power of winter itself, have directed him. You will be mine. I will be yours. We will all make money together. This is good, yes?
Sure. Now,
Good. On your feet, we must go. And I'm sure that one day soon you will tell me you will find the persons responsible for the death of my man Kiro. And we will feast on their blood together, yes? The ancients have said so. They've spoken with frost in their voice and snow on their cheeks. And you've never seen snow, I'm sure. It is beautiful.
Yeah, never seen snow.
The moment you say, yeah, never seen snow, Anastasia looks into Benedict's face. And the weight of memory and nostalgia sitting there causing the Tay-10 tears to well up. He looks at you, but yes, we know that happened, but what and where is Montrose? And then he looks at you, Fancy. You've never been this close to your grandsire. That's effectively what Benedict is. He is the fountainhead from which the line which produced you originated. From Benedict down to Sebastian, down to Benedetti, down to you. It's looking at the causation of all that you were. If he didn't, and as strong as he was being sent out here to Las Vegas, you wouldn't have been here now. Sebastian wouldn't have been here. And as well appointed as your time, your taste of immortality has been, barring this last week, the week before that, you would have died happily, the wife of. And the moment that those thoughts begin to dance behind your eyes, having left Montrose and arrived back at your studio when everyone went their own separate ways, everyone had things they needed to attend to, and you were focused on getting Corinne free of those assholes, and you heard that David, because you refuse to, call him champ like everybody else, was out hunting the streets, trying to find where you all resided. You knew that, well, time was nigh.
So where is she right now?
Her studio. The fourth night of having been released from Montrose's care and consideration. The interrogations in her rearview mirror.
I think before having left the desert, she would have gotten away to reliably contact Luca. So with that being in mind, she will use that method to reach out to him right now and tell him most of what happened.
Well, I kind of hear what you're saying, love. Tell me again, because this is not making sense. Everything keeps moving as if Montrose is almost aware of what's actually happening.
He is. He's like the fucking boogeyman.
And you're sure you're alone. You lock your doors. No one else can get in where you are.
Give me a minute. And I don't have sense, but she would do the goofiest shit and just like gently walk around her room running her hands in front of her to smack into whatever.
Still winging a broom around.
She is comfortably confident that she's alone.
So then she is going to lock the door to keep herself alone for the time being, and then sit back down at her fucking desk. Alright. So now that I have cleared the room as best as I can, we went to go pick up the boxes. You know we had the girl. The girl was put in the box by Montrose. We broke her out. We didn't realize that he would track her. Mistakes were made. He tracked us back to the studio. He snatched us and the girl. I don't know what fucking happened to her afterwards. Got questioned for like 3 days and then released when he realized he wasn't getting shit outside of us. But there are several strings blowing in the wind right now that it seems like he's directly tied to. He doesn't know that we know a lot of what we know. And I still haven't been able to get to Corinne, but David is looking for us right now. And I don't know what to do about that, because you know I don't. Well, I can fight, but I can't fight. And I just got my fucking nails redone. I don't want to deal with this shit. So, you're the brains, I'm the beauty. What do you suggest I do right now about his ass? Because I need to get Corinne back. Anastasia is out there looking for her stepmother. I need her back.
The old man is not going to like this at all. The old man does not like the timetable being moved up. He gets cranky and he gets stupid. The last time he got cranky and stupid, he ruined our fucking happiness, our opportunity. Can't let that happen anymore. We can't let that happen again. Montrose cannot be the catalyst to all of this being for nothing. Here's what we're gonna do. You're going to reach out to Montrose. And I'm going to reach out to that fuck David. We're gonna... You remember the hotel room that you used to like on the west side of town?
Despite the absolute fucking danger that they're in right now, she smirks. Yeah, I remember.
We're gonna make it a funerary gift for Montrose. I need you to reach out to Montrose and give him the room. And tell him you're not sure how. But repeat after me. Memorize this. A knight who enlisted the help of a black spiral dancer. They have access to some boxes kept safe. You're not sure what's in the boxes or what they're planning, but that this canine, remember, canine, my kindred, my leg. Spoke to one of your girls. He's initiating one of the rituals that the canites do. I'm not sure what that's supposed to mean. But that's what you found out. You're gonna have to take him there. He's gonna insist you show him. He's probably gonna make sure you do so by yourself. I'm gonna send David. No.
Day Night has reached out to a Black Spiral Dancer and gotten boxes that were kept safe. And they're going to do some sort of ritual. I don't know what it is. But one of my girls came to me and mentioned something about it. And I can take you to where it is. Right?
Perfect.
You know, I'm a little scared. I think it'd be stupid if it wasn't. Because Montrose is a fucking monster. But we have to do
Exactly.
this.
We
We're
do.
gonna do it.
We're gonna do.
Alright.
Now, would you be so kind as to roll the mechanics for this? You're going to need your either charisma or manipulation. Either or, charisma or manipulation, plus your subterfuge. And roll as high as you possibly can. Now, because it is such a significant role, if you have any coterie members that are willing to assist, you may, of course, have used their network and their connections and their ties, and they could have lent validity to your claim. Did Fancy engender any support from her coterie?
Always and forever, baby.
Yeah, she would have definitely reached out to Ryan.
I'm a writer.
Wish she had reached out to Eugene.
When Fancy jumped on that fucking Shamir and was beating her ass, know who was Ryan.
You know it. You know it.
Additional
Okay.
one. Ryan.
That's good.
Would Fancy reach out to little Eugene?
Am I only allowed to reach out to one, or can I reach out to more than one?
You could have reached out to anyone. We are moving forward and backwards in time and giving you the opportunity of saying, because of their efforts and energies and what they were doing to assist, who in that situation would have been reliable or believed reliable? Whom amongst the coterie, if anyone or everyone, she have reached out to?
Alright. That's fair. And Eugene probably would have some sort of help towards the validity of this since he knows so many fucking criminals.
No criminals, just people who are very loose. I have a very loose translation of the law.
Well, there you have it. You get another +1.
The ants go marching. Yay! That's the power of Pine Sol, baby.
Cassie be getting them good rolls.
She draining our luck. She one of them luck
I'm telling
vampires.
you. She getting like crits rolls.
Oh, as you all utilize word of mouth, the whispered network, when all of the associations that you all are able to bring to bear, as Benedict, well, what happened? Montrose. You think back to that conversation with Luca. You think back to the many conversations you and Eugene and Ryan had tonight. As you all, the various connections, to the believability and the allure that Luca pushed for you all to use. Being guided by Fancy to the hotel room, to the hotel. Luca having given the address to David. You all think about that room fire. How quickly Luca's men barred the door. You think of all the screaming in that room as a lupine, a master manipulator, Nosferatu fought their own beasts, each other's beasts, in the fire. So as Benedetti asked what happened to Montrose, you three look at each other and remember the sounds of his screams.
Oh, fuck. There was a wolf?
And here, Montrose screaming. He fought for his very existence. As David, in his blind, frenzied rage, set off by the fire under proximity to Montrose, lost his ever-loving ship. It's not only the room they were in, but the room, the floor above you all. When the floor caved in on them as they were at war, attempting to escape that room, which was barred from the outside by Luca's men. It was more than a coordinated hit. And it was only possible because you all worked together to achieve it. And as Prince, that you all, one to the next, trying to figure out how did Anastasia's walk down memory lane, your arrival and release from Montrose, and Martha's conversation with her sire, whatever that was about, how did that lead to the missing and disappearance of Montrose, which led you here to this moment? And as the lights in the theater of our mind begins to dim, this conversation is still ongoing. The days and weeks leading you all to here being confronted by Prince Benedict, rousing him from his lazy, shiftless slumber The sound Montrose dying is its own reward. Thank you.